I dressed up as Shinzi, the unlucky heroine in ancient sadomasochism novels. In the plot, I would have my heart tortured by the male protagonist, have my kidney removed by the female partner, be abandoned by my family, and finally die on the operating table for the male protagonist by Yue Guang's heart. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw the male protagonist Gu Qingze pinching my chin and saying with red eyes, "Z, clear your kidneys. I owe you in this life." I raised my hand and gave him a headache. "Just talk. Don't get so close. Have a breath." Gu Qingze was stunned. Later, when the vicious female protagonist cried and said, "Sister, I didn't mean to push you," I pushed her down the stairs with my backhand and turned on the live broadcast on my mobile phone. My family, who knows? I encountered a living green tea and became a spirit. When my eccentric parents forced me to donate bone marrow to save my younger brother, I handed over the organ sales contract and POS machine. "Brothers, let's settle the accounts. The fixed price is $888,088 and installment support is available. The interest will be calculated as usury." They said I was crazy. I laughed. Yeah, I'm crazy. So, stay away from this madman like me. Otherwise, I'll bite whoever I see. I'm wearing a book. Enter a book about the abuse of an ancient tyrant called Bone-Eroding Love, young Master Gu's beloved. She became the ultimate unlucky guy with the same name and surname as her, who combined all the elements of sadistic stories such as kidney removal, blood drawing, abortion, and heart transplantation. Shinzi. At this moment, I am lying on a hospital bed that is soft enough to sink into. The smell of disinfectant filled the air. There is an intravenous drip on the left wrist, and the right wrist is wrapped with thick gauze, according to the memory of the original owner, who just received it. This is what Shinzi left last night when she cut her wrists and attempted suicide in despair because Gu Qingze wanted to marry him by Yue Guang Lin Qingqing. And my fiancé, the male protagonist of this book, Gu Qingze, the president of Gu Group, is standing in front of my hospital bed. He was wearing a hand-tailored black suit. He had a tall figure and a handsome face, but his eyes were slightly green and black, and there was new stubble on his chin, making him look a little haggard. But this does not affect his appearance and aura as the boss. At this moment, he was staring at me with his deep eyes, which are said to be able to see through the trend of the New York stock market at a glance, complex and unquestionably tough. Then he spoke. The voice was low and hoarse, with exhaustion after staying up late, and a kind of pain that one thought was affectionate. Knowledge. He called my name and pinched my chin with his fingers, forcing me to raise my head to look at him. Qingqing has kidney failure and is about to die. Only your kidney can save her. I know this is unfair to you. He paused, his Adam's apple rolled, and his eye circles seemed to be redder, as if he had made great determination. Clean the kidneys. I owe you this life. I will pay you back in the next life. After saying that, he closed his eyes, as if he was suffering from huge inner torture. According to the plot of the original work, Shinzi at this moment should be in a state of heartache and tears streaming down her face. Looking at the man she has loved for 10 years, but who wants to dig out her kidney to save another woman, she is heartbroken, but because of her deep love and kindness, she finally nods in agreement with trembling and despair. Then he was pushed into the operating room. In the severe pain of the anesthetic failure, he heard the cry of joy that he and Bai Yue Guang were saved coming from the operating room next door. Then began the tragic second half of her life where she lost a kidney and was constantly PUA'd. But now, it's me who's lying here. A violent social animal who has just been crushed by the 996th blessing and died suddenly. He has long been disenchanted with love and men. I felt the irresistible force on my jaw. Looking at his face so close, it says, although I'm a scumbag, I'm affectionate, written all over it. I could smell the faint smell of tobacco in his breath, and a faint odor from his unwashed mouth. Maybe it was because of anxiety caused by staying up late. I blinked. There was no sadness in my mind, just a cold calmness and a sense of absurd laughter. Digging out a kidney? Will you pay me back in the next life? Have all the painted cakes gone to the underworld? Gu Qingze seemed dissatisfied with my calmness. He pinched my chin harder and frowned. Shinzi, speak. Do you agree or not? His tone took on his usual commanding tone. I looked at him. Then, slowly, he raised his right hand without an foredrip. Because of the gauze wrapped around it, the movements were a bit clumsy. But it doesn't affect my performance. I used the greatest strength I could muster at the moment, bent my right index finger, and pointed it at Gu Qingze's smooth and plump forehead, which was said to be worth $1 million. Bounce hard. Boom. There was a crisp sound of brain collapse, which was particularly loud in the quiet VIP ward. Gu Qingze. His eyes suddenly opened wide. He looked at me in disbelief, and the hand holding my chin loosened. He seemed to be stunned by my sudden, childish, and extremely insulting action. I took my hand back and rubbed my knuckles, which were a little sore from exerting force. Then, calmly, even with a bit of disgust, she looked at him and said clearly, word by word, "Speak, just speak. Don't get so close." I wrinkled my nose. Have a breath. Didn't you brush your teeth last night? Young Master Gu, pay attention to your oral hygiene. After all, I paused and gave a standard, polite, but temperatureless fake smile. Your tone coupled with your words just now. Keep your head high. Dead silence. There was dead silence in the ward for more than 10 seconds. Gu Qingze maintained his leaning posture and froze in place. The expression on his face slowly changed from the initial shock and astonishment to confusion, and finally settled into a twisted look of being offended and mixed with embarrassment. He probably never had his head blown apart by someone in his entire life. I've never been told have a strong tone or keep your head down in person. In particular, Shenzi, whom he has always regarded as his possessions, comes and goes as soon as he calls, taking whatever he wants. Shen-Ji-E. He squeezed out my name through his teeth, the veins on his forehead popped out, and his handsome face was a little ferocious with anger. Do you know what you are talking about? I'm talking humanly. I leaned back on the pillow and adjusted myself to a more comfortable position so I could look at him leisurely. Why, Mr. Gu can't understand. Do you want me to translate it for you again in English, French, or sign language? You. Gu Qingze was so angry that his chest heaved violently, and he pointed at me. You are simply unreasonable. Qing is still in the intensive care unit waiting for help. Actually, it's none of my business that she's waiting for help. I interrupted him. My tone is calm, as if I were discussing the weather. Who is she to me? Is she my long-lost sister, or my savior in my previous life? None of them. Then why should I donate my kidney to a stranger? Is it because of your big face? Is it because of your strong tone? Or is it because of your skill in painting cakes? Gu Qingze was choked by me and couldn't speak. His face turned red and white. Shenzi, don't forget your identity. You are my fiancé. Oh, fiancé. I nodded to show my understanding. So, your fiancé's kidney is your private property, Mr. Gu. You can dig it out if you want, and give it to whomever you want to give it to. Young Master Gu, in a society governed by law, organ trading is illegal. Even if your biological father wants your kidney, you have to sign voluntarily, do you understand? I raised my gauze-wrapped wrist and waved it in front of his eyes. Also, Mr. Gu, I just cut your wrist for you last night and walked around the Hell Gate and came back. As my fiancé, the first thing you do is not care about my life or death, nor ask me if it hurts, or if I am afraid. Instead, you stood in front of my hospital bed, pinched my chin, and forced me to donate my kidney to your sweetheart. I looked at him. There was no sorrow in my eyes, only cold ridicule. Gu Qingze. Your conscience. Was it eaten by a dog? Or do you mean you don't have that thing at all? Gu Qingze's face turned completely pale. He staggered back a step, as if he was stabbed hard by my words, and there was a trace of embarrassment and imperceptible panic in his eyes. I'm not. He tried to defend, but his voice was dry. What's it not? Aren't you heartless? Aren't you don't care about my life or death? I smiled, too lazy to watch his performance anymore. Okay, Mr. Gu, the play is almost over. I won't donate my kidney. I won't give Lin Qingqing not to mention a kidney or a hair. If you really love her so much and can't live without her, I suggest you. I raised my hand and pointed out the window. See that pond downstairs? You can just jump down and see if the Lord of Hell is willing to trade your life for her kidney. Or, I tilted my head and made a thoughtful suggestion. You can also donate yourself. Although the matching may not be successful, what if it happens? True love is invincible. If you dare to take out one of your kidneys for her, I, Shenzi, respect you as a man and will immediately hold a banner for you at the door of the ward, wishing you two a long-lasting friendship, infertility, and abundant children and grandchildren. Gu Qingze was dizzy and speechless by my series of output. He stood there, his chest heaving violently, pointing his finger at me, shaking for a long time, but could not say a word. That look was like looking at a stranger, a madman. Finally, he glared at me fiercely and squeezed out a sentence through his teeth. Shenzi, you'd better not regret it. Then, slam the door and leave. Bang. The loud noise echoed in the ward. I took out my ears, which were a little itchy from the shock. TSK. Angry from shame. With this little bit of mental quality, he still manages to be the boss. The door was pushed open, and a little nurse came in and asked cautiously, Miss Shen, are you okay? Mr. Gu. Fine. Ismaida. Please help me with the discharge procedures. In addition, I thought about it. Help me change the lock on the ward door. The password is set to the pinyin initials of Gu Qingze, and dogs are not allowed. Little nurse. You're kidding. I waved my hand. Set it as complicated as you want. Just don't let the man with the bad breath come in. The little nurse nodded with a weird expression and backed out. The ward became quiet again. I lay on the bed and looked at the white ceiling. The wound on my wrist hurts. But in my heart, I feel relaxed and clear like never before. Fuck the sadistic heroines. Go fuck yourself with a kidney and a heart. Starting today, I, Shenzi, live only for myself. Whoever makes me unhappy will be made more unhappy. This mouth has actually grown. Just use it well. The discharge procedure was done very quickly. Gu Qingze was probably very angry with me, so he didn't stop me anymore. I used the little balance left in the original owner's mobile phone to rent a cheap, old, and small single room far away from the city. The original owner's bank card had long been taken away by Gu Qingze in the name of help you take care of it, and the jewelry and valuable clothes on his body were also at Gu's house. Now I have almost nothing except this hospital gown and a mobile phone. But it doesn't matter. When you are alive, there's hope. I lay on my creaky old bed and began to sort out the plot and current situation. The original owner was Shin Zi, the unpopular daughter of the Shin family. Her mother died young, her father remarried, and her stepmother brought in a sister, Shin Mingju, who is only a few months younger than her. The family's resources are obviously skewed, and the original owner has a weak character and has been ignored and suppressed for a long time. Later, when I met Gu Qingze, I thought it was salvation, but it was actually a deeper abyss. At this point in time, the original owner cut his wrists and was rescued, and then he was asked to donate a kidney. According to the original work, after donating the kidney, the original owner collapsed, but Gu Qingze used this as an excuse to postpone the wedding and let the guilty Lin Qingqing live in the Gu family to recuperate. The two of them were having fun with each other under the eyes of the original owner. After that, there were a series of packages such as miscarriage, blood draws, being completely abandoned by the family, and finally death due to a heart change. Reality, a culmination of bloody battles. Just as I was thinking about it, my phone rang. It's an unknown number. I picked up. Hey, sister. A delicate, crying female voice came out. It was Shun Mingju, my stepsister, and one of the vicious female supporting characters in this book. Sister, how are you? I heard that you have been discharged from the hospital. Why don't you go home to live? Dad and Mom are very worried about you. Worried about me? Are you worried that I won't die, or are you worried that I won't go back and be a blood pack? You have something to say. My tone was cold. Sister, why are you talking to me like this? Shun Mingju felt aggrieved. I know you are angry. Blame Brother Qingze and blame me, but Sister Qingqing is really dying. She is so pitiful. Can't you show kindness? It's just a kidney and you won't die. Listen, what a familiar moral kidnapping. What a standard green tea statement. I laughed. Shun Mingju. Just one kidney? You say it so lightly. Why don't you donate? Oh, I forgot. Your blood type is different from Lin Qingqing's, so you are not worthy. That's such a shame. Otherwise, your kindness will surely move China and make you one of the top 10 outstanding young people by the end of the year. There was silence for 2 seconds on the other end of the phone, and then Shen Mingju's furious voice came. Shenzi, why have you become so cold-blooded? So vicious? Sister Qingqing is Brother Qingze's favorite person. You help her, Brother Qingze will be grateful to you forever. How much is his gratitude worth? I sneered. Can it be used as food or as a kidney? You, Shen Mingju, was speechless by me. She took 2 deep breaths, then suddenly lowered her voice and smiled maliciously. Shenzi, don't be proud. Do you think you can escape if you don't leave the hospital or donate a kidney? Dad has promised Uncle Gu that as long as you come home, I will tie you to the operating table. Don't toast me, and you'll be fined if you don't eat. Oh? Threaten me? I raised an eyebrow. Okay. I'll wait. Let's see if your Shin family is capable of kidnapping citizens and forcibly harvesting their organs in broad daylight. By the way, remember to record the call. This is all evidence. See you in court and the media then. It depends on whether you Shun and Gu family are thick-skinned or whether the law and public opinion are tough. After saying that, I hung up the phone without waiting for Shin Mingju's reaction. Blacklist. The world is quiet. But I know that the Shin family and the Gu family will not give up so easily. Sure enough, in the afternoon of the next day, my cheap dad Xinguohua called. The tone was unprecedentedly gentle and sad. Z, go home. It's not safe outside, but at least you have a bite to eat at home. Dad knows that I have wronged you by donating a kidney, but the Gu family is so powerful that we can't afford to offend you. Just help Dad and the company, okay? Don't worry, after the operation, Dad will make it up to you, and the Gu family won't treat you badly. I listened to his performance while nibbling on the pancakes I bought downstairs. After he finished singing the sad scene, I slowly spoke. Dad, you're right, donating a kidney is quite unfair. So, we have to pay more. Xinguohua, what? I said add more money. I swallowed the last bite of pancake and wiped my mouth. Let me donate a kidney to save Gu Qingze's sweetheart, okay? But it's not charity, it's transactional. One price, 80 million. Cash, put it on my card. 1 point less, no need to talk. Xinguohua took a breath. 80 million? Shinzi, are you crazy? I'm not crazy, I'm sane. You can go to the black market to find out the market price of a kidney. I want 80 million. It's already a family price, and it's a broken bone. After all, I am your biological daughter, with your blood in my blood. This money can be considered as you buying off our relationship as father and daughter, buying off my kidney, and by the way, hush money. Otherwise, if I go out and yell, saying that the chairman of the Shin Group, in order to curry favor with the Gu family, teamed up with outsiders to force his daughter to sell her kidney. I paused, my voice smiling. Do you think the company's stock price will fall faster than my kidneys? Xinguohua was so angry on the other end of the phone that he was unable to speak for a long time. Finally, he gritted his teeth and said, Shinzi, just wait. Then hung up the phone. I shrugged nonchalantly. Just wait and wait. Soldiers will come to block it. Water will come and earth will cover it. Talkative, I'm a professional. The next few days were uneventful. Neither the Shin family nor the Gu family gave me any more trouble. They were probably discussing countermeasures, or they thought I was crazy and talking nonsense. I was also happy to be quiet. I used the last bit of money I had to buy some cheap clothes and daily necessities, and by the way, I submitted my resume online to look for a job. Although the original owner was the daughter of the Shin family, her college major was art, and she had no practical skills, so it was not easy to find a job. But I have experience and brains from a previous life. There is always a way to survive. This afternoon, I went to a nearby supermarket to buy discounted vegetables. As soon as I walked out of the alley, a black Mercedes-Benz sedan stopped quietly in front of me. The car door opens. 2 strong men in black suits and sunglasses came down. At first glance, he looked like a bodyguard. "Miss Shen, Mr. Shen, please go home." One of the bodyguards spoke. His tone was quite polite, but his movements were undeniable and forceful. "Coming." The soft one is not enough. Now comes the hard one. I looked at them and then at the car, which was obviously worth a lot of money. Suddenly smiled. "Okay. Just in time, I also want to see if my dear father and stepmother have any new tricks." I readily got into the car. The 2 bodyguards seemed a little surprised by my cooperation. They looked at each other and got in the car. The car sped all the way back to the Shin family villa. In the villa, the atmosphere was solemn. Shin Guohua and my stepmother Wang Mylin were sitting on the main sofa. Shin Mingju was nestled next to Wang Mylin. When she saw me coming in, there was a flash of schadenfreude in her eyes. Gu Qingze was actually there. He was sitting on the single sofa on the side with a gloomy face. When he saw me, his eyes were complicated, angry, but also a little bit inquisitive. "Rebellious girl, you still know how to come back." Shen Guohua slapped the coffee table and took the lead in attacking. "Look at you, what you are wearing, where you live. You have brought shame to our Shin family." I looked down at the t-shirt and jeans that cost tens of dollars. "I think it's pretty good. At least, I bought it with my own money. Dress with ease." Shen Guohua's face turned blue when I choked. Wang Mylin quickly smoothed things over with a fake smile on her face. "Z, your father also cares about you. It's so chaotic outside. How unsafe it is for a girl like you. It's great to live back here. We have everything at home." "Yes, sister." Shen Mingju also hypocritically agreed. "There are servants at home to serve you. You can eat and wear whatever you want, so why suffer outside?" I walked to the sofa opposite them and sat down on my own. "Just tell me. Come back to me, what's going on? Or for Lin Qingqing's kidney?" I looked at Gu Qingze. "Young Master Gu, 80 million, are you ready?" Gu Qingze raised his head suddenly, his eyes as sharp as knives. "Shinzi, don't go too far." "Excessive." I laughed. "Am I going too far, or are you going too far?" 1 or 2 people worked together to force me to donate my kidney. What? My life is not my life. My body is not my body. Just because you are powerful, you can decide who owns other people's organs at will? Gu Qingze, Shen Guohua. I stood up and glanced at them. I leave my words here today. I won't donate my kidney. Money, less than 80 million, no need to discuss. If you dare to use force. I walked to the huge floor-to-ceiling window in the living room and pointed out at the manicured garden. I'll jump out of here. Then send the suicide note I wrote in advance, together with all the recordings and chat records I have collected in the past few days of you threatening me and forcing me to sell my kidney to the media, the police, and online. I've already thought of the title. The shady story of a wealthy marriage. The daughter of the Shin family was forced to sell her kidney by her father and fiancé and died tragically at home. Guess how many points Shen's stock price and Gu's stock price will drop by then? Where should you put the face of your 2 families? In the living room, there was deathly silence. Shen Guohua's face was livid, and his fingers were trembling as he pointed at the coffee table. Wang Mylin and Shen Mingju also turned pale with fright. Gu Qingze stared at me as if he really knew me for the first time. Shock, anger, disbelief, and a hint of violence after being completely provoked. Shen, knowledge, and intention. He stood up slowly and walked toward me step by step. The tall figure carries a strong sense of oppression. Do you think threatening death will work? Do you think the media and police will believe your nonsense? I, Gu Qingze, am insidious. It's easy to make someone disappear. Not to mention shutting you up. He walked up to me and stopped. Lower your head and look down at me. The distance is very close. I smelled that faint breath that belonged to him again. But this time, there was no tone. Just cold anger. I'll give you one last chance. Sign obediently and donate a kidney. I can ignore what happened before. You are still the young lady of the Shin family, my fiancé. Otherwise, he narrowed his eyes slightly and lowered his voice with a bloodthirsty chill. I don't mind. Let you have a taste of what is real. Life is worse than death. Here it is again. Threats, intimidation, mental oppression. Standard skills for male protagonists in sadistic novels. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for me. I raised my head and met his cold gaze. Suddenly, he grinned and smiled. Smiling very brightly, very happy. Then, when Gu Qingze frowned slightly and seemed to think I was smiling weirdly, I raised my hand suddenly, not hitting him. Instead, she hugged his neck, pulled down hard, Gu Qingze was caught off guard and staggered by me, lowering his head. Our faces are so close. The tips of their noses almost touched. I could clearly see my own enlarged face with a crazy smile in his pupils. There was a gasp of air in the living room. Shin Mingzhu even screamed, "Shinzi, what are you doing? Let go of Brother Qingze." I ignored her. He just hugged Gu Qingze's neck tightly, stood up on tiptoes, and leaned close to his ear. He spoke softly at a volume that only the two of us could hear, but with a creepy excitement and sweetness in his tone. "Gu Qingze, you know what? There's always been AIDS. The incubation period is the kind that cannot be detected. You say." I leaned closer, my lips almost touching his earlobe, feeling his body stiffen instantly. "If I deliberately get blood on the surgical instruments before donating my kidney." Or, on the operating table, sudden heavy bleeding, blood splattered everywhere. "Your Qingqing used my kidney?" "Will." I paused, chuckled, and blew hot air on his ears. "Becoming like me?" Gu Qingze's body shook violently. As if he had been bitten by a poisonous snake, he pushed me away instantly with such force that I staggered back several steps and almost fell. He stared at me, his handsome face now as pale as paper, his pupils constricted, filled with extreme shock, fear, and disgust. What did you say?" His voice was broken and trembling. He no longer had the domineering momentum he had just now. I stood firm and rubbed the shoulder that hurt when he pushed me, still with that crazy sweet smile on my face. I said, "I have AIDS." "Young Master Gu, didn't you hear clearly? Do you need me to say it louder again?" I turned up the volume to make sure everyone in the living room could hear. I said, Shinzi, have AIDS disease. Ha ha. I laughed so hard that I burst into tears. "Gu Qingze, don't you love Lin Qingqing? Don't you want my kidney to save her? Come on, take it. Give her my kidney, my blood, and my virus. Let you two lovers die in the same year, the same month, and the same day. Be a pair of ghostly mandarin ducks. How romantic, isn't it?" I laughed and walked towards Gu Qingze. He seemed to have seen the most terrifying monster. His face turned pale. He staggered back, knocking over the vase behind him. "Don't come here." He pointed at me, his voice hoarse and filled with fear. "Crazy. You crazy." "Yes, I'm crazy." I stopped, my smile faded, and my eyes instantly became cold and sharp, scanning every person in the living room who looked pale as if they had been struck by lightning. "It's you who drove me crazy. So, listen to me. From today on, whoever dares to take advantage of my kidneys, my blood, or any of my organs dash." I stared at Gu Qingze. Every word was very clear. "I will drag anyone with me, and we will go to hell together. My life is dead, and death is not a pity. But you..." I smiled, and my eyes swept over Shin Guohua, Wang Mylin, Shin Mingzhu, and finally returned to the pale-faced Gu Qingze. "You rich and powerful upper-class people who cherish your life like gold. Do you dare to bet?" No one spoke. In the living room, there was only the sound of heavy and suppressed breathing. Shen Guohua slumped on the sofa, clutching his chest, looking like he was about to have a heart attack. Wang Mylin and Shen Mingzhu hugged each other, shivering, and looked at me like they were looking at the plague. Gu Qingze leaned against the wall, his chest rising and falling violently, and his eyes as he looked at me were full of fear, disgust, and a trace of complete loss. All his calculations, threats, and controls fell apart in the face of my crazy declaration of die together. He didn't dare to gamble. They didn't dare to gamble. I picked up the fragments of the vase that Gu Qingze knocked over just now and weighed them in my hands. Then throw it away. The fragments fell on the smooth marble floor, making a crisp cracking sound. I'm done talking. The kidney is in me. If you have the ability, come and get it. If you don't have the ability, just get away from me. Don't bother me again. After saying that, I turned around and walked out of this suffocating villa without looking back. The sun is a bit dazzling, but I feel extremely warm and free. I know that AIDS is fake, but the fear is real. From now on, the Shin family and the Gu family will probably never dare to take my idea of mobile virus database again. At least, you can have some peace and quiet for a while. As for the future, soldiers will come to block it. Water will come, and earth will cover it. My mouth did not grow in vain. This collapse plot seems... it's getting more interesting.